Don't hold me up now. I can stand my own ground. I can't remember the rest of the lyrics. What up, guys? Welcome back to Dark Harvest Rambling series. I can't remember what part we're on. Part 8, I think. Oh fuck, dude. I'm sick. I'm like actually sick today. So, yeah. But I still decided that I wanted to record this because why not? Quick recap. Last time, Chris and Alex decided that they got closure on Greg, so they're gonna quit. But, as we know, and as they've stated before, you know, they've said that they were gonna quit before, but it that didn't happen, and they got dragged further into it, right? There's no way they're gonna quit. They have a cult surrounding their lives. There's genuinely no way they're gonna quit now at this point. But let us just jump into it. So, Dark Harvest ended. The last video, update number 6, was uploaded in November. On November 2012. On January 3rd, 2013, Kind von der Ritter posts a video. A little call to action, you could say, which you will understand. There's gonna be a good amount of dialogue that I'm gonna need to read. So yeah, there's a good amount of text that I will need to read. So let us begin. I thought my work was over. This is a video called Memory. Memory. I don't know. Memoir. Memoir or something like that. By Kind von der Ritter. It was uploaded by Kind von der Ritter. About 3 months after the Dark Harvest boys, ended the channel or whatever. 2 months. 2 months, not 3 months. But yeah. Alright. So, Kind von der Ritter has a message for them and for us. I thought my work was over, but now I see clearly. Something new and unforeseen is in the works. Something dire. I am sorry. And then it flashes the words I am sorry a bunch on the screen. Maybe to say that he's begging for forgiveness, kind of thing. You know so little of me. I think it is time I properly introduce myself if you are to trust me. This may seem crazy, but I swear I am only human. Or at least I once was. Humanity is a concept I have long forgotten. I am not living in the world you live in. I see things differently. I see the future. I hear the past. And all I can feel is death. Ugh. He says all I can feel is death. And then we get some flashes of... There's a lot of good footage in this video. There's a lot of really good footage. And I'm kind of breezing over it just to read the text. Because the text is the real important part. But he says, and all I feel is death. Right? And we get to see a bunch of footage of pain and suffering. Flashes of it. And then we cut to a scene of the camera over his hands, and he's shaking his hands like this, and he's looking at them. And the text on the screen says, on my hands. So, all I can feel is death on my hands. Kind von der Ritter continues, I want to change the future I have seen. I live only to change what I have caused, but the monster knows this. The monster. Gora Lehotep. The tall man. Obviously, right? He is trying to use me to fulfill my own prophecy. But I am no fool. There is a key that I have forgotten. It can unlock your freedom. You must use it. It leads to a truth that will destroy the rot before it consumes you. If you fail, there will be blood on your hands forever. You are still wary of my message and its medium, and so this is why I have chosen another as its herald. Now, this text is weird. there's certain letters in these words that are uppercased, right? So in the word medium, the letter D is uppercased. In the word and, A and N is uppercased. In the word this, I is uppercased. In the word E, in the word have, the letter E is uppercased. And in the word herald, the letter L is uppercased. Take all these uppercase letters. D, A, N, I, E, L. What do you get? Daniel. Who do we know whose name is Daniel? Daniel Shipman. The person who owns the Project Egypt vlog. The person who runs the Project Egypt vlog. And now let's read back this line. You are still wary of my message and its medium. And so this is why I have chosen another as its herald. And in this text, D-A-N-I-E-L, all uppercased. Daniel has been chosen as Kind von der Ritter's herald. Because it seems that Kind von der Ritter is leaving, but he needs someone else to take on the mantle of attempting to help out Chris and Alex. From what we know now are the Harbingers, the people that the cult wants to kill for this big tall man. Von der Ritter then continues, time is up. You are not ready to know the truth. I want to spare you from madness. This weapon is right under your noses. Just listen. And that is how the video ends. But I think the weapon is right under your noses. Just listen. And then I don't think when the time came for this video to come out, you know, when it came out originally, that just listen part doesn't make too much sense. But I have a little bit of a theory. So in this video, Kind von der Ritter is saying that he's chosen a new herald. It's Daniel, right? The weapon is right under your noses. Just listen. And right after that, in the playlist, right after the line just listen, the video immediately cuts off to an upload from Daniel Shipman. Okay. See? There's some things going on here. Daniel Shipman. So, this Kind von der Ritter video came out January 3rd. The day after Daniel Shipman posts, Daniel Shipman January 4th update. Ugh. Let us jump into this Daniel Shipman January 4th update. So, Daniel starts the video, and he says, sorry for not updating the blog as much, right? Now, in the description, I will leave the Project Egypt vlog down there for you. Just for context, this video is from January 4th, 2023. Whoa. January 4th, 2013. So if you have not read any of the Project Egypt blog posts from before January 4th, 2013, I highly advise you go and do that. There's just important and it's just fun world building stuff on the Project Egypt blog, but there's some. Oh, sorry, I'm getting indigestion. There's some other stuff on there too. So yeah, Daniel starts the video and says that this cafe that he goes to on a regular basis, he noticed the symbol of the order carved into the building. It's a cafe that he goes to regularly in New Jersey, and he noticed this symbol carved into the building. Now we know what symbol he's talking about. The symbol that has been in the thumbnail, the symbol of the profile picture of the Dark Harvest channel. We know exactly what symbol he speaks of. But Daniel also says that's when he started to notice the symbol everywhere. At a library, at a police station, even at a courtroom. Fuck. If Daniel's implying what we think he's implying right here, the Order has their little hands on everything. Everything everywhere. All the time. Oh. Daniel then says, he's been trying to keep a low profile around this area at this point because he doesn't want to get any unwanted attention around him. But he said that he decided to go look into a local sermon happening at a church. And he says that when he was walking back to his car from the church, some lady walked up to him and handed him a note. So Daniel opened up the letter, and, it didn't seem like anything too wild, but, in the letter it said, "To Daniel Shipman," which is already weird, right? Because how would this random lady that Daniel has never met know his name on the street? And then in this envelope, was a key. The letter itself was not important, but the item inside was, there was a key. Daniel says he doesn't know what the key is for. He's been keeping it for safekeeping, but he's starting to understand who it's from. But he said he'll get into that a little bit more in a little bit. But Daniel says he checked out that local sermon, and he seemed like that would be the end of it. But the next day he received a letter, no noticeable markings, no mailing address or anything like that. But the only noticeable marking was that symbol on the outside of the letter. That triangular symbol with the lines and the circle in it, right? The symbol that is on the Dark Harvest profile picture. The symbol that Chris and Alex have seen a lot used by the Order. The symbol of the Order, right? From now on, that is what I'm going to call it. The symbol of the Order. Or the Order's symbol, or anything like that, right? So on the letter is the symbol of the Order. Of this cult. Now, the only thing inside of this envelope is a note. The note reads, "Daniel Shipman, you shall cease and desist of any and all suspicious activities relating to the Order. This includes, but does not pertain to, research, contact outside sources, making records of any sort of media and publishing them, and trespassing on private grounds. This is your one and only warning. Should you violate any of these conditions, the repercussions shall be severe. We will be wary of your actions from here on out." So the Order knows about Daniel Shipman. That is confirmed at this point. The Order understands Daniel Shipman. He knows what's going on. They know a little bit about what's going on. Fuck. They know a little bit about what's going on with him, at least, from what we can read from this note. And they want him to stop. We then cut back to Daniel. We then cut back to the footage of Daniel in his car, because all of this footage is interspliced of him taking footage in his car, explaining kind of what's going on, and then cut into footage that he took at the time of when getting these items. But Daniel we cut back to Daniel in his car, and he just bluntly says it. It's a death threat. It's a death threat. Doesn't matter how they word it, it's a death threat. They want me to stop investigating into them, or they'll kill me. Daniel then says, I understand that this is a death threat. They're trying to get me to stop, but I do what I do best, and I dug more. I dug deeper. Now, Daniel said that he started to look into the Rainwood family. He wanted to make like a family tree. So he looked into every single Rainwood. Started with Jacob Rainwood. This like son of the Rainwood family, right? This like main son. And he could not find Jacob Rainwood's birth certificate at all. It's like Jacob Rainwood never exists, but we definitely know he exists. But what he could find was every single other member of the Rainwood family. The only one who's missing is Jacob Rainwood. So, one thing that Daniel also found was that you looked into passport records, and it seems that every single member of the Rainwood family packed up and moved to Europe in 1985, and that it seems like there is no record of them being in the U.S. after 1985. Daniel says it wouldn't make sense because the Rainwood family still has things going on in New Jersey, like their schools, the day camp reopening in sometime in the 90s. They're all kinds of shit. Some weird stuff going on with the Rainwoods, which we've definitely known before, but it's, I don't know, much more apparent in our face now. Daniel says, this whole thing with the Rainwood family is weird, and he feels like he's onto something, and that catches us up around to the time where Kind von der Ritter uploaded his last video. Daniel says he has seen it, he's analyzed it, he even knows that it mentions him in it. Daniel says that he analyzed this video to a point of, a very great point. He says it mentions him, it mentions that the research he's been doing is going to lead him back to New Jersey, and it says that whatever Daniel finds is going to be the thing that will tear the cult apart. It will destroy the cult from the inside out. This very much seems now at this point, I think we can 100% confirm Kind von der Ritter has been on our side from the start. Very much from the start. He may have been using threatening tactics to try and lead Chris and Alex in a certain direction, but from what we learned towards the end of season 1, he decided to put the knife down and try and use trust. Now that trust didn't seem so trustworthy at first, but now at a point, it's starting to seem a little more trustworthy. It's starting to seem like he was on our side the whole time. He just maybe didn't know how to express that in a good way until now. Daniel Shipman then says, after all of this information, also with that key, Daniel Shipman, I feel like, is very heavily implying that the person that sent this key to him was Kind von der Ritter himself. Right? This key seems like it's going to be something very important tied to this cult. That being said. But Daniel at the end of the video says, after all of these revelations and all of these things coming together, he is going to be taking a trip to New Jersey very soon. Because this could help him out, this could help Chris and Alex out, this could help anyone. Right? Anyone and everyone affected by this cult. Daniel says also at this point that he seems to be more involved than he ever wished to be. So this cult isn't just breathing down Chris and Alex's neck anymore. They're breathing down Daniel's neck too. And he says that this information seems like it's going to help them all three out, and anyone else affected by this cult greatly. So Daniel says that he's going to be taking a trip to Jersey, and hopefully the Dark Harvest boys will help him out. And that is when we move on to the next video. Daniel Shipman's visit, first day. an upload by Dark Harvest. Dark Harvest at this point had not uploaded for about a month and a half, a little over a month or something like that. So, the Dark Harvest boys are back because Daniel Shipman has come back into their lives and needs help. I mean, Daniel Shipman needs help doing his investigation. So Daniel Shipman's visit, day one. The description reads, so much happened in the past few days, it's going to take some time to compile all the footage together. This is the first video in a series of about 3 where we will be releasing in the coming days. Once everything is out in the open and you can come to your own conclusions about what is going on and what may happen, I'll post a more in-depth view of how we're doing now that this is over and what we plan on doing next. Alright, so this video was uploaded January 8th. It's been about a month and a half since Chris and Alex have uploaded a video. But the video starts. Daniel Shipman comes to the door. Daniel's like, he's still recording. Chris is like, I'm alone today, so I just do it out of peace of mind. Still a little paranoid boy, but I think that's, at this point, pretty understandable. So much has happened in Chris and Alex's life that I think it's pretty understandable that Chris still feels comfortable filming himself, you know? That being said, though, Daniel Shipman says, hey, I hate to be a broken record, but could I use your bathroom? The last time Daniel Shipman showed up, he also had to use the bathroom. That's so funny. That's so funny. Daniel Shipman doesn't use bathroom until he gets to location. Ha 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 ha. Alright, so then we cut. Chris and Daniel are sitting at a table. They're just having some general, like, you know, catching up conversation together. So, Daniel apologizes for the whole Noah Maxwell situation. Chris says it's fine, you know, it's not his fault. He was just trying to help. In general, just, you know, good vibes. They're on good terms still. Friendly guys having a convo. So, Daniel and Chris start to drive over to Alex's house. And Daniel explains everything to Chris that he explained to us in the January 4th update video. Where, you know, Daniel started to look into Lawrence Rainwood, which is the father of Jacob Rainwood. Lawrence was never married. Looked into Jacob. Jacob never seemingly existed. Looked into the passports. Whole family disappeared to Europe, somewhere in Austria. Just completely gone. The Rainwood family seems to be off the face of the earth. Says that the Rainwood family not existing doesn't make sense because their friend Matt Sharkey, he, you know, knows the Rainwood family personally. He works for them, right? Daniel's like, yeah, I set up a meeting with him for you guys and like all this, you know, it just doesn't make sense. Rainwood family not being in the U.S. since 85, but they clearly have been in the U.S. since 85 because the Rainwood Day Camp reopening in the 90s. Rainwood Memorial School. Matt Sharkey in that video says that he knows the Rainwoods themselves. The people with the last name Rainwood themselves personally. In that video. They've sent him, they're the ones who administrate the school. They're the one that sent him out to the day camp to look for items. Those same items that were given to Chris and Alex that have almost broke Alex's computer. Like, there's something grand going on here with this Rainwood family. We've known that there's something off with the Rainwood family for a while, but where it's starting to get more information on it. And, you know, Chris and Daniel are both very confused about all of this information, but they know it's significant. They get to Alex's house. Alex is like, why the fuck do you have a camera? Chris is like, I bet you're wondering why Daniel's here. Alex is like, let's go upstairs and discuss this. Off camera, Daniel explains all of what he explained to Chris to Alex. So, Alex hears all this information, and he says, I agree it's weird, but how do you think this is going to work? And Daniel says, have you guys seen the new Kind von der Ritter video? Alex says, no, I thought he stopped uploading. And, they both say, no, we thought he stopped uploading. And, Daniel says, Daniel explains what the Kind von der Ritter video was about, that it heavily implies that Kind von der Ritter knows what Daniel's doing, and thinks that what he's doing will lead to chaos and downfall of this cult. Daniel also says that he wants to go check out the Rainwood Memorial. Alex says, look, man, that seems pretty against the law. Daniel says, look, this cult is the law, and the law wants you dead. Yeah. Daniel at this point has pretty much said it outright. Something that maybe has been in our minds for a while, but I haven't really explicitly said it. I kind of hinted at it in the last video. What if everyone in that police station, what if the law is the cult? What if the cult has embedded itself in the law, in the courts, in everywhere in this New England area? And this is starting to seem like what's going on here is the cult owns the police, the cult owns the courts, the cult owns it all. The order is so deeply and tight-knit in this community. The Novus Ordo Europa, before it disbanded, probably started this whole area of the New England, just area in general. New Jersey and surrounding areas, right? It probably has a deep-seated roots in all of this area at this point, and there's no escaping this cult anymore. It's all over the place. It's all embedded itself in this area. It's ever present in this area at this point. So, yeah. Alex and Chris do agree, but they say we don't want another Noah Maxwell situation on their hands. Which I think is pretty understandable. Yeah. So, they go to the Rainwood Memorial School, and it's fully closed. Pitch black in the building. Seems like literally no one's there at all. Literally no one. Nothing at all. Chris goes to check it out. Building fully locked. No staff in there at all. But Daniel brings up a good point. Matt Sharkey, I set up that meeting for you guys. He worked there. Maybe we could call him, see if he's free tonight, ask any questions, and so that is what they go and do. Then we cut to the next scene, and they are with Matt. So, they start to ask Matt, like, do you still work for the Rainwoods? Matt's like, school closed down a couple months back. I've been out of a job since. Then they asked, do the Rainwoods own any other businesses in the area? And Matt says, no, not that I know of. I know that they're trying to look into other enterprises to delve into, and I'm, waiting to hear back. And so they ask Matt also, because he was the one that checked the day cam for them and found those floppy disks. They asked Matt if he ever went back. Matt says that he went back top to bottom, checked the building top to bottom, didn't find anything, but there was this locked room that he wasn't able to go into, probably because of the asbestos, right? And yeah, they didn't find anything in the locked. He didn't find anything in the day camp. But a locked room. He said most likely it was a boiler room, but it's interesting. We've seen weird shit going on in that day camp already, right? So it just seems really weird. that there's like a locked room in there that Matt wasn't able to access. Matt asks, so why are you guys asking me all this stuff? Daniel then says, I have reason to believe that Jacob Rainwood doesn't exist. Matt's like, he exists. I know him. He's actually a good guy. He's like he was paying my rent for like 4 months when I lost my job. How can he not exist? And Daniel's like, all right, just hear me out. Matt hears all of what Daniel explained to him and then says, that is really weird, but I mean, he exists. I literally had lunch with Jacob like the other day. And then Alex is like, all right, this is stupid. Matt, we'll hang out with you another day, and like, we're sorry about all this. I'll walk you out. So Matt leaves. Fucking Alex, bro. Let Daniel cook. Alex, you fucking little secondhand embarrassment pussy. Let Daniel cook, you faggot. Then we cut to the next scene. Alex is like, made us just interrogate our friend for no reason. Now all we know is that Jacob Rainwood does exist. Daniel then says, alright, can we at least check out the day camp sometime? Alex is like, why the hell would we do that? Daniel's like, because there's a locked room that Matt did not go into. And then Daniel pulls out the key that he got from that lady on the street, and he says, this key was sent to me, given to me by someone on the street. It was sent to me. It was personally designated for me. Daniel also brings up another point. Have you ever heard of an alias? Someone could be using his name. Then asks, you're talking about Jacob Rainwood, and Daniel says, yes. And says, come on, Alex. Daniel has a point, you know? I don't want to get any deeper in this shit than you do, but at the same time, all this seems a little too bizarre to be just a coincidence. Let's go check out the day camp. We'll do it during the day, make sure no one's around. So Alex agrees, you know, but he also says that if they don't find anything in the day camp, we're done, right? Daniel says, so you'll at least entertain this idea for me. Chris and Alex agree. Daniel says, I wouldn't have it any other way. And the video ends there. Then we go to Daniel Shipman's visit, day 2. Description reads, there's another video regarding Daniel's visit that I still need to upload. However, it may take me a little longer than expected. Sifting through the footage and compiling what is interesting/relevant to the situation is very time consuming. Expect it fairly soon though. Like I said previously, once this whole thing is posted, Alex and I will most likely make a video about how we are doing now. Keep in mind that the events depicted in this video took place on January 6th, as Daniel arrived on January 5th. I hope I won't have to keep you guys waiting too long on the next video. We do want to keep all of our viewers informed regarding our current situation, but we feel that these videos are far more substantial than just writing up a text post. Yeah. Well, regarding this description, it seems like they're going to find something in this, and that there is more footage to come from just this day. Than just this day, right? It seems like they're going to find something in the day camp, but we don't know that yet. Let us jump into Daniel Shipman's visit. Yeah, let us jump into it. Alright, so the video starts. They are outside of the day camp. They're all putting on gas masks, and they're all putting on like air breathing masks and shit like that, because day camp is covered in fucking asbestos, so they're being smart. They all three break into the day camp using a window near the back of it that was not tightened up, was not barred up or anything like that. So they walk around the day camp, and it is how they remember it last time they came here, you know. Weird Weird fucking cult symbols everywhere, graffiti, art on the walls of weird shit, right? But they find a door that's locked. They try kicking it a few times. It's not really working. Daniel says, wait, right? And then he uses the key. And the key does indeed open up the lock on the door and does work. They find in this room some sort of like locked box. It has a numpad on it, right? So they need a combination to open it up. Most likely 3 numbers. Fucking Chris is like, how do you know this is what we're even looking for? Daniel's like, I don't know, man. It's behind a locked door. It's a box. Fucking seems pretty substantial, right? And seems like he was here before and left this for us. Talking about Kind von der Ritter. And Alex then says, what if he's here right now? And Daniel's like, let's not think about that. Cut to footage of them still trying to open up the box. Alex says, I don't think we're gonna find something. Chris is like, it's worth a fucking shot, man. I trust Daniel. Yeah, Alex, shut up. Chris is about to say to Alex again, look, man, as Daniel was saying, this could be significant. And then he gets the lock open. They ask, what was the combination? Daniel says 0304. This is like, what does that even mean? And then Alex says the third world to the fourth world, 0304. We're living in the third world right now, but the cult wants to go to the fourth world, right? Yeah, alright. So yeah, they get the box open. As they start to leave, okay, so they got what they wanted, some slips of paper from this box. But as they start to leave, there's also people walking around this building too. There's people in here. So they hide off in a little side door, a little side area. The 2 dudes walking around in this building go into a room. So Daniel rushes out of the building to cause a distraction for these 2 dudes. These 2 dudes follow behind. They chase after Daniel down the road. And then Chris and Alex slip out of the building and go in opposite direction. We then cut to the next bit of footage. Chris and Alex are filming in the car and they're driving somewhere. And Daniel had messaged Chris and said to meet them somewhere public. Chris has the address, right? So Daniel is seemingly safe. Or at least, hopefully that's Daniel. Alex says, alright, we'll check on him to see if he's safe, but after that we're done. Unless what he found in that box was convincing. We meet Daniel in this public place. They sit at a little booth in a restaurant with him. They ask him what happened. Daniel says, I got away from him. Chris is like, yeah, what the fuck happened? Daniel was like, I'm pretty sure it's being chased by members of the Order. Daniel says that he was able to get him off his trail when he entered into a supermarket, but he got a good look at him before they left the supermarket. And these dudes looked like members of the Order. Chris then asks, anyone we recognize? And Alex is like, yeah, like Jesse or anything? And Daniel says, no one that I recognize from your videos. Daniel then asks Chris and Alex, is there any way they could have known that we would be there? Chris and Alex say, nah, we don't think so. And then Chris is like, so what would you find? What was that document? So Daniel pulls the document out, and on the outside of the document it says L.E. Rainwood. That's an anagram for Lawrence Rainwood. So the rest of the papers are all coded. At the top of the paper, Daniel says he recognizes this stuff up here. And in Kind von der Ritter's video, he mentions rot, which is a type of way to cipher that you could use as a decoder. But the rest of the piece of paper doesn't seem to be in this rot decoded decipher kind of code. It seems to be in a different kind of code. Then B's a bitch and a pussy, and he's like, why do you need us, right? You're the one who does all this coding stuff. Daniel's like, look, I need your guys' help. Chris is like, look, Alex, we're already in this shit, dude. We saw them at the day camp. I say we help them out as much as we can. Then responds, yeah, I'm not going to be too happy about it, but yeah, I guess we could give it a shot. And that is the end of Daniel Shipman's second day. Daniel Shipman's visit the second day. Now, one thing to note here is a lot of people in the comments are talking about how in this restaurant, a lot of people are talking about how it looks like Jeff from Everyman Hybrid and Noah from Tribe 12 are sitting in the booth near them. Chris even leaves a comment. While reviewing this footage, I noticed that myself, but I can 100% guarantee you it's not. I remember seeing that guy in person. I would definitely recognize Noah if I saw him. Sure does look like him on video, though. So yeah, there's a guy in the restaurant that looks like Noah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know. I think it's just a coincidence. I don't know. Person has like Noah hairstyle, but it doesn't really look like Noah. Now we move on to Daniel Shipman's visit, third and fourth days. So we have 2 days crammed into one video. Let us continue. So this video starts. Chris, Alex, and Daniel are all looking into this code. And the top part of the paper in the rot code comes out to New Harbor Library. Daniel doesn't know if that's like a location that Chris and Alex know about, but yeah. Chris and Alex don't know of the location, but they, Daniel's gonna look it up, see what he can find about it. And then the next part that's in rot code is, it's a quote. And the quote is, at midnight, noiselessly, God wills it, yes, at midnight. That's the full quote. Which Daniel says, it seems like it's like a quote from a book or something. Sounds familiar to him, but he doesn't really know what it is. He's going to look that up also, though. Quote from one of Jules Verne's stories, Dr. Ox's Experiment. The next line of code comes out to, the first emperor's words bring clarity, though his enemies silenced him. Truth is the key. Numbers are the path to the key. Right under it, there's some numbers, and Daniel remembers, books, pages, right? There's number of a page, number of lines on a page, and Daniel, these numbers mean, like, page number, number of lines, words in those lines, right? So the first number would mean the page, the second number would mean the line on the page, and then the third number would mean the words in those pages. So they need to find Jules Verne's Dr. Exo's Experiment, right? They need to follow these little numbers to the page, the line on that page, and then the word that the number correlates to on that page. The word on that page is the key. And then that's when Chris brings up the book is probably at that library, and Daniel's like, yeah, wait, yeah, you're right, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, yeah. then that's when Daniel brings up that this book, this certain word in this book, is most likely the key to decipher the bottom part of the page. So, because he's deciphered most of this page up until the numbers, but right under the numbers, there's a last bit of text that needs to be deciphered. This bottom part of the code is coded in two different ways. Coded in Caesar and Keith Caesar, right? Caesar is a type of code. Keith Caesar is a more complex code that uses a singular word to decode a whole thing. So this bottom part is double coded, and the word is the key to that code. Chris asks, so what's the whole thing about that emperor about? And then Daniel says, that's referring to Julius Caesar. Chris is like, are you sure about that? And Daniel's like, I'm pretty sure about that. Which would make sense, right? Caesar, the Caesar code, the emperor, right? Yeah. So, Julius Caesar, he was an emperor. He was silenced. He had 8 people that silenced him, right? And a part of the Keith Caesar code is not just a key. You need a number that goes along with that key, right? He had 8 people that silenced him. So most likely the key is whatever word is in this Jules Verne book, and then the number 8, right? Daniel looks up the library. He says it's closed now, but it is nearby, and it opens pretty early. So they decide that they'll go tomorrow morning. And that is where we cut to them trying to find this library. They found it, and they go in and they start searching, and they, shit's going down. So they find the Jules Verne book, and Daniel says that he only found part of it, right? But, so he deciphers what part of it he found, and it leads to some numbers that Daniel then says, this leads to another book. So, they find the second book, and in that book, there's more numbers. 375, 24, and 1. So, page 374, line 24 on that page, and then on that line, whatever word is associated with 1. So every time they find a new book, it leads them to the next book, right? And the next book after that. We then see Chris open up another book, and it leads him to another book that has more code, more stuff on it. One thing that they notice about these books is they're in the spots where they're supposed to be, but they're not labeled at all. And they kind of come to the conclusion that's probably because they're maybe supposed to stay in the library, right? So, Daniel says, that's smart, right? Seems like Kind von der Ritter is sending them on a little bit of a wild goose chase around this library, finding different books until they get to the last book, which then will lead them to this whole, will unlock some kind of something, right? Something. So the full code, the full thing that Kind von der Ritter was trying to lead them to is a sentence that says, "My conspirators are among you." Daniel says that seems like something was going on inside the cult, and he knew it. He also seemed to be the chief overseer of the order. And one of them asked, do you think somebody betrayed him? Referring to Lawrence Rainwood, right? Lawrence Rainwood seemed to be the chief overseer of the order. My conspirators are among you, right? It seems like something was going on in the order, and Lawrence Rainwood knew it. And the full code finally comes out to Brant Crater. Branch Crater. They come to the conclusion that sounds like a location, like a place to go somewhere, right? And Alex and Chris and Daniel decide that they're going to put it into Google and see where that leads them. Then finishes off this little part in the library by asking them, do you believe me now? And they're both like, yeah, we do. Which is great. We then cut to the next scene. So, in the next scene, they're driving around a cemetery, Brant Crater Cemetery. Oh wait, I forgot to read the description. The description just says he didn't he didn't. I guess we'll learn what that means later on. They're walking around the cemetery. Daniel has a motherfucking crowbar. Which is insane. Seems like they're gonna find something here at this cemetery, though, because this is where they were leading to, right? So they check they check like a bunch of gravestones, right? They're not finding anything significant, but they find this mausoleum. And on the mausoleum it says Ritter on it. R-I-T-T-R. Kind von der Ritter. Kinder von der Ritter. Children of the Ritter, right? Children of the night. So yeah. They start checking out this mausoleum. Around the mausoleum, and they find a little stone on it. And on the stone, it has that symbol. The symbol of the order, right? Daniel's like, maybe this is the thing that they stand on, right? And they're giving a sermon or whatever, right? Alexson says that's actually very conspicuous. And then Daniel says, this whole thing, it's been about Lawrence, right? As a leader. Seems like somewhere where he would stand and address his underlings, right? His vassals. So Daniel lifts the stone up, calls Alex over to it. He's like, you see this? You see this? Right? Chris starts to walk a bit towards it. And Daniel's like, don't film this. Don't film this. Right? Alex is like, yeah, don't film this. There's some important information on this tablet. Some very important information on this tablet. Something that the Order does not need to see at all, right? This tablet does not need to be filmed. Daniel does, though. He takes a picture of it, right? And then says, it's like a map. It's like a map of this graveyard. There's something here. Daniel then says, we're not going to show it. Chris is like, yeah, no, understandable, right? Daniel then destroys the map. Hits it with the crowbar multiple times until it breaks into a bunch of tiny little pieces, right? So they break it, and they throw, like, a bunch of these pieces into the lake, right? Nearby. Daniel says that he kept a few just as, like, a little memento, right? Pieces that don't correlate to each other, just little mementos. As a piece of investigation, right? A little prize. That's funny. That's also, shout out Daniel. He did this shit, man. He did this shit. So yeah. They find a bunch of shit. They find a map, right? And then they start walking around this graveyard. Then we cut to a next scene. Alex says, we've been walking out here for 2 hours. We haven't found anything yet. Daniel's like, look, it's a little more complicated than just this, right? Let's keep walking around. And then we hear a little bit of yelling. Chris says, oh shit. Camera pans over. There's 3 members of the Order holding what looks to be like guns pointed at them in this cemetery. They start shooting. All 3 of them get down and they're hiding behind gravestones. Then run to the next set of gravestones, duck down, right? They're near Alex's car. They run to Alex's car. They escape the cemetery with their lives. Some shots are heard ringing off before they leave, right? We see the 3 Order members before they speed off. They're still pursuing them, but they did escape. The scene cuts and they're arguing a little bit in the car. Alex is like, as I said earlier, that was a shitty fucking idea. We shouldn't have done that. Daniel's like, we were so fucking close, dude. So fucking close. Alex is like, we got fucking shot at, alright? I'm done. It's like, I didn't need your fucking help to get shot at, right? Daniel's camera cuts to a little bit further in the conversation. Daniel's like, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back later by myself and check it out. Chris is like, you really think that's fucking worth it, dude? And then Alex and Chris say, look, man, you're on your own with this one, right? Daniel's like, yeah, that's fine. I understand. I think we kind of understand what the description means now, right? Daniel tries to go back later on, isn't able to, so the description says he didn't, right? He didn't go back later on. Very eventful 4-day trip with Daniel Shipman, am I right? And now we move on to update number 7. Description says, I'm not giving up yet. Here's the update video, as promised. Also a comment that I want to highlight from the Dark Harvest channel. It says, yeah, we've known for a while that the Order has ties with local police. Detective Amsel's name is related to the Order, both in the manifest and in older documents regarding the Novus Ordo Europa. Also, the fact that Amsel was in charge of the investigation of Greg Benson's murder leads us to believe that their influence is very widespread. There's a great comment that I really want to highlight also. So Chris and I guess Alex, have you guys seen ML Anderson's videos? If so, you'll note that the current episode of their vlog, I guess you could call it, there seems to be a period where things went back to normal for 2 to 3 months. Then, of course, shit hit the fan with Stormy. The point I'm trying to make is, and is aimed at Alex mostly, is don't expect sitting around doing nothing to save you. Time is on his side, not yours. Doing nothing just ensures you're not ready when stuff happens. Yeah, right? Alex always being like, I'm done. At this point, you're fucking involved. Shit's not going to go back to normal. Nothing's ever going to go back to normal. I've said this multiple times. I will say it again. You looked down the rabbit hole and you fell in. That's nobody's fault except for you. You and Chris's, right? At this point, you're fucked. Your life's not going to go back to normal. And shit needs to happen. You need to do shit, right? And you're onto something too at this point with that map. Now is not the time to ever give up. You need to keep going. You need to keep fighting. And if you die, you die. That being said, though, let us continue on into update number 7. Chris, at first, gives us a little update of what happened after the events of the last video. Daniel went back to the cemetery, but there was police there, so he didn't even pull in. He just drove by because the Order's ties to the police. The Order's close ties to the police. Yeah, he didn't even want to risk it, so he didn't even go into the cemetery. He just straight up drove by and didn't go back to the cemetery. First thing gives us an update on Alex. Alex is freaked out yet again. Alex isn't here with Chris making this video. Alex, the only reason why Alex went along with all of this is because he thought it would be done for good, right? They could figure out a way to stop all this. But as we can see now, that did not happen. So now they're both in a state of nervousness, just kind of waiting for what to happen next. Chris doesn't want to think about all that, though. He just wants to think about what the best course of action is going forward. So yeah, Alex thought that they were done, but they weren't. And now they're back in the shit. And Alex is understandably freaked out and pissed. I think that's pretty understandable. You know, they got a cult breathing down their neck, and they thought they were done, but as I said before, even when things felt good for a while, that doesn't matter. That doesn't fucking matter. And the next thing is that Daniel has seemingly pieced together who Kind von der Ritter is. From all the evidence that has been laid out in the past 2 years plus of Kind von der Ritter videos and just other information that they've gotten. Daniel believes that Kind von der Ritter is Mark McComber, as we know, Heather's grandfather. Now, this is something that I seemingly started to piece together a little bit myself earlier on in an earlier part of this series. Now it's starting to come to a little bit of a forefront in our minds, right? Because Daniel seemingly has started to piece this together too. And I'm guessing Chris and Alex can believe it also, right? But yeah, this isn't confirmation that Kind Von der Ritter is Mark McComber, but this is a little bit of an indication, right? That there is a lot of evidence that Mark McComber is Kind Von der Ritter, that Kind Von der Ritter is Mark McComber. It would make a lot of sense, and it's something that that I kind of pieced together in this series earlier on, but now the evidence is just kind of, I don't know, it's here, it's in our face, right? Kind Von der Ritter is most likely Mark McComber. Chris says with this information that he doesn't know what to make of it, but if he is on their side, Chris is just really hoping that that is the case. Now, Chris brings up the paper trail and kind of what came from that. It seems that Lawrence Rainwood, who was at one point the chief overseer of the Order, was betrayed by some conspirators within the Order itself, and something happened to him. He was maybe murdered, he disappeared, and where he is now, they don't know anything about that. Chris also doesn't know what is going on with the Rainwood family, and he doesn't know what's the deal with Jacob Rainwood and any of the rest of this family. And then he also brings up the Brant Crater Cemetery map. They theorize that whatever this map was leading them to would have been the name of the conspirators, which that would cause a lot of internal struggle in the Order itself. Chris brings up that, with these names, if these names is what would have come out, it would have showed a lot of people that people in the Order that their cult is corrupt and, kind of caused a lot of people to leave, would have caused a lot of just internal strife, and eventually the cult would have fell in on itself. And if they found those names, that really could have been the end of everything. Chris says that he doesn't want to go back to the cemetery alone, and Alex isn't going to go back with him, and, Chris says, I'm not going on my own, fuck that, I'm not risking my own life, But the cemetery does seem like it holds a key to everything falling down with the Order, It also says that he's been thinking it over, and the only person that he thinks that he could get any info out of at this point would be Jesse. But no one knows where Jesse is. He doesn't know where Jesse is. Jesse's seemingly disappeared since that night of log entry number 27, when they kidnapped and kind of tortured him to get information out of him. Chris says that he really has no options anymore at this point. He doesn't really know what to do anymore. And, his only lead is to maybe contact Daniel and attempt to locate Jesse. But he also doesn't even know what that's going to bring up anymore at this point. Seemingly, this, he has no option. And then the video ends with what looks like Chris crying a little bit. I don't know. The video ends after that. That is the end of update number 7. And then we go into the very last video of Season 2, log entry number 28. We end Dark Harvest Season 2 today, boys. This is the end of Season 2. But there's still Season 3 to go through. We're not done with Dark Harvest yet. We just, we are not done with Dark Harvest yet. And Dark Harvest log entry number 28. Alright. So the video starts with a little note from Chris. In the weeks that followed the recording of update number 7, I contacted Daniel and attempted to locate Jesse. I wanted to speak with him to see if he knew anything about Daniel's lead regarding Lawrence Rainwood. And then we get a little bit of a timeline of what is to happen in this video. There's no description of this video. It was uploaded on May 30th, 2013. So this video took a little bit to come out. The update number 7 came out in February. This video is coming out in May. So yeah, it took a little bit for this video to come out. But the events of the footage that we are about to go through is from March 17th, 2013, St. Patrick's Day. So this video starts with footage of Alex recording his computer screen. Alex's mom told him to go online and check the local news. Alex just thought that this was his mom being paranoid, telling him not to go out at night and that kind of stuff, right? We see local college student's body missing. And then this article reads, on March 16, 2012, the owner of Shadowbrook Farms, Giovanni Kraska, called his local police department with startling news. He had discovered the body of 20-year-old college student Jesse Lorenzi on his property. The New Jersey native had been missing for several months by the time his body was discovered. No arrests have been made yet, but the police have officially declared the case a homicide. State Police Officer Brian Holmes has been leading the investigation. Brian Holmes. Oh, fuck. Dude, I think B. Holmes was one of the people on the manifest. Holy shit, wait. Wait. Holy fuck. I'm pretty sure B. Holmes was on the manifest. Give me 1 second. Let me go. I need to go check that manifest right now. Alright. I'll calm down. Never mind. Brian Holmes, B. Holmes. No one with the last name of Holmes was on the manifest. I'm just tripping. The State Police Officer Brian Holmes has been leading the investigation. He has released one official statement to the press. Jesse Lorenzi's death, upon being ruled a homicide, will not go unpunished. It is a great tragedy that such a thing has occurred in this quiet rural community, but the police department is doing its best to make sure such an occurrence does not happen. It has been learned that Mr. Kraska is the leading suspect in the case and has been held in police custody for questioning. Jesse Lorenzi's parents have been notified of his death and are holding a candle-lit vigil in memory of their child on Monday night, March 18th, at St. Augustine's Church of the Divine from 10 p.m. to midnight. Jesse Lorenzi, 20, has been missing since October 2012. And we get a picture of Jesse in this article also. And then the rest of the article reads, members of the community are in mourning over the young man's seemingly unprovoked murder. Jesse was well-liked and had a lot of friends. I can't imagine why someone would do something like this, his father, David Lorenzi, stated to the reporters. Yeah. Alex also sounds shocked while reading this, saying he's actually dead. The article continues, Jesse Lorenzi's body was mangled when found in a shallow grave. His head was detached from the rest of his body in a small bag. Experts state that he may have been murdered in an execution-style beheading. Such gruesome murder is cause for alarm, and local police advise everyone in the area to stay indoors after dark for the next few days until further investigation comes forth. Local communities have been on edge since news of the murder has come out, but the investigation has just begun to go underway. Alex then tries to call Chris. Chris doesn't pick up his phone. Alex goes to his house, knocks on his door. Chris answers the door, and Alex is like, come on, man, I called you like 3 times. You know what this is? He hands Chris a printout of the article. Chris starts to read it. Fucking, Alex is like, Chris, I saw your YouTube video that you uploaded. Chris is like, yeah, what do you want about? Alex is then like, well, you wanted information about him. Chris is like, yeah, I just want to talk to him. I wouldn't fucking kill the guy, okay? Alex is then like, well, why would they kill one of their own members? Chris is like, yeah, we don't even know that it was them. Alex is like, yeah, but who else could it be? Alex is like, what's our next step? Chris is like, I have no idea. And then we cut to some text on the screen. After learning about Jesse's death, Alex and I became a bit paranoid. We kept our presence on the internet low, and we decided not to upload any videos to the DarkHarvest00 channel. However, we decided the following footage needs to be seen. This video was uploaded May 30th, right? The following footage that is about to be seen comes from May 29th, 2013. Right? This video was uploaded May 30th, 2013. So a day after this footage takes place. This current footage takes place. We then cut to the following footage. Chris is sitting in his room. He's listening to some bumping ass techno music. Then we hear Chris's dad be like, "Hey, yo, Chris, there's someone at the door. You mind go checking out who it is?" He's got this like fucking New Jersey ass accent, right? Chris is like, "Yeah, Dad, I got you." Right, he goes downstairs. He opens up the window to see who it is. There's no one at the door. He asks, "Are you sure it was the front door?" And then we cut to Chris opening up the door. We then see footage of... So, we then see what that knock on the door was all about, right? There's a little envelope on the front stoop. Chris picks it up, and it says... On the outside of the envelope, it says, "Ship to Jesse Lorenzi." Chris then shuts the door, locks it. And we get some text on the screen. There was a DVD inside the envelope addressed to Jesse. It was labeled March 15th. This is the footage I saw on the DVD. Following footage comes from March 15th, 2013. One day before Jesse's death was posted in a news article. Now the footage starts. We see someone with a bag over their head and a noose around their neck. Someone wearing one of the order masks, but this time the order mask is red. It's not the normal kind of mask that we're used to, right? Usually the order's masks are just all white. This one is all red. He tightens the noose around this person's neck and then starts to walk them over to a spot. We then see where this red masked order member was leading them to. I'm going to start calling this red masked order member the executioner. So the executioner leads him to leads this bagged person over to a random spot in a field where there is three other members of the order standing there. One holding up a flag with that symbol on it, right? The order's symbol, the triangular symbol with the lines and the circle in the middle. There's another one who is holding an axe, seemingly ready to hand it to the red-masked executioner. And there is someone wearing proper garb, right? A member wearing some special robes, most likely an overseer, right? Who is holding a book. The camera then... And also, seemingly, there's a fifth member behind the camera. There's a fifth member of the order behind the camera that we can't see because he is the cameraman of this little situation. The white masked order member holding the axe hands it over to the executioner, the red masked order member, and then the overseer starts to speak. He says, "Hello, my brothers and sisters. I welcome you all to a ceremony we've all been taught, but most likely not taken part in. This is a dark ritual and not something to relish in. This is a day of mourning for all those who take part in this rite. We are going to take the life of another human being. Not just the life of any man, but the life of a brother. Of course, you all know who we speak of. The man you see before you is Jesse Lorenzi, vassal of the 4th Enclave of the New Jersey chapter of our order. Was inducted on November 9th, 2009. Oh, okay. Getting a little bit of a timeline of when Jesse joined the order. About 2 years before the events of Dark Harvest even really took place. Brother Jesse was a member of our order and a follower of our master, and it's a shame to see him fall so far from grace. He was always a prime student of mine and was in the process of becoming an arch-vassal. In the coming years, he was going to lead the newly installed 5th Enclave of the New Jersey chapter. Fortunately, this was not to be. We all know that the Oracle speaks of one of our own brothers betraying us. Never would have thought it was Brother Jesse. It is a shame that this has happened, but we cannot ignore Brother Jesse's trespasses. Being said, I will lead us in the rite of death for Brother Jesse, administered to me by Chief Overseer Jacob Rainwood. Oh, fuck, dude. Oh, fuck. Okay. Chief Overseer Jacob Rainwood. I don't even need to say much, man. I don't even need to say much. That is just like a big fucking bomb of information just dropped on us, though. And he starts to lead the rite. O Lord and Master Gorai Leotep, we ask for your strength as we enact your will. As it is written in time, death is certain for all those who oppose your will. Eternal life is granted to those who fulfill your purpose. While all of this is going on, someone's beating a drum in the background. Boom, 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 boom. You know, those kind of drum beats. I also want to say, log entry number 28 is an amazing video on the channel, and I highly, highly recommend that everyone go and check it out. It's a fucking great video. Season 2 is just filled with heavy hitters, bro. It is such a good season. The Chief Overseer, the Overseer continues. The Order is your instrument. We are your divine hand, and the Oracle is your mouth. It is written in the collective knowledge. You must take the lives of those who desecrate the sacred traditions. I've come to know that Brother Jesse Lorenzi has breached the most fundamental of our practices. As our law mandates, after given a just trial by the Tribunal of Overseers, Brother Jesse is stripped of his status and hereby sentenced to death. Jesse Lorenzi is guilty of grievous charges, has broken the contract that all vassals swear to, has defiled all 3 of our fundamental laws, defiled the law of remembrance by straying from the path the Oracle has set out for him. If we do not follow the path of the Oracle, our order may never reach the 4th world. Defiled the law of submission, has betrayed the trust of his arch-vassal, and in turn, my own trust. Trust, our brotherhood would crumble. And he has defiled the law of secrecy by revealing actions of our order to not only outsiders, to harbingers. In addition to these 3 crimes, which are punishable by death, Jesse Lorenzi has been seen in the company of the heretical 6th Enclave. So it seems that there's a part of the order that this part of the order does not associate with anymore. The heretical 6th Enclave. Seemingly, there's a part of this order that does not go along with the rest of the order. That sect of heretics has attempted to kill the Harbingers on 3 separate occasions. Okay. So we're starting to build a picture here. Seemingly, the 4th Enclave, the 5th Enclave, 3rd, 2nd, or 1st Enclave, none of these Enclaves have attempted to kill Chris or Alex. But the 6th Enclave has, because if you remember, Chris and Alex are the Harbingers, right? They are labeled as Harbingers by this order. Seemingly, that means that the order doesn't exactly want to go after Chris and Alex. Okay, wait. So that would mean that log entry number 26, Jesse was working with an order outside of the order. An order that the other members of the order don't agree with. Okay. So this is the 4th Enclave. These are not the same guys that tried to kill Chris and Alex. Holy fuck. The guys that tried to kill Chris and Alex in log entry number 26 was most likely the 6th Enclave. Holy fuck. The overseer then explains that as us vassals know, it is not our time for the order to destroy the harbingers that have been plaguing us. Their judgment will be divine. Judgment will be divine at the hands of Goralehotep himself. Okay. So we're starting to build a picture here. This fourth enclave, and most likely the fifth, and the third and second and first, believe that they don't like Chris and Alex, but they're not allowed to kill them. They're not allowed to kill Chris and Alex. Because Goralehotep, the tall man, the big slender man himself, he will kill them. That is at least what they believe, right? I'll say this, though. I don't really think that they fully understand what the Slender Man is, though. I don't really think they fully understand what the Slender Man is at all. In my opinion, this Slender Man does not give a fuck about this cult at all. He only wants to find things to consume, right? In my opinion, the Slender Man, right? The thing that they call Goralehotep, the tall man, the thing that Habit would call that stick in the mud, the thing that the collective would call the administrator, that thing does not give a fuck about any of these order members. They're just human beings that he doesn't care about. Slender Man just wants food. He just wants meals, right? He just wants to eat. That's why he attaches himself onto people like Greg, Chris, and Alex, right? To one day break them down mentally to try and kill them. He does not give a fuck about this order. Maybe he gives a fuck about certain members of this order, but for the most part, he does not, in my opinion, give a fuck about this order. Overseer continues that, they're not allowed to kill Chris and Alex. It is written in the text of the oracle, and it shall be. Overseer then says, this spectacle is not to be taken lightly. Let all of you remember of this rite on this day. Remember this for all time. Jesse Lorenzi was led astray. This in mind when facing temptation. Then the overseer asks, Jesse Lorenzi, do you have any last words? We hear Jesse mumbling something, but it's incoherent, man. We can't understand what he's saying. And then the overseer finishes off, may you find peace in death. Executioner, you have my lead. And the executioner with the red mask on, he walks around to the other side of it, because he was standing behind Jesse at first, but now he walks around. The executioner then sets up his mask and proceeds to swing it. The footage cuts right before that, and we get a little note on it that says, the following images are extremely graphic. In order to prevent this video from being removed, I have been forced to censor it. I have, however, left the audio. We then hear the axe come down on Jesse's head. Blood splatter, right? And then we cut to the next bit of footage. It is still those 4 order members standing around. Jesse's body is laying beside the executioner's little log of wood or whatever, right? We see Jesse laying dead on the ground near them, seemingly blood around him. And then the overseer speaks. He says, now that the will of our master is complete, I have one final thing to say. Not to you, my brothers, but to the harbingers. So now he's speaking directly to Chris and Alex. He then says, we are going to let them see what we have done here today for one reason. Warning. Although the words of the oracle may protect you from death by our hand, Goralehotep will destroy you one day. Why he hasn't yet is a mystery, but rest assured, your time will come. What we can do, though, if you ever try to uncover the secrets of our order, to give you a fate far worse than death. We will kill everyone you love. Your entire family will be destroyed and your world will crumble. Although we can't kill you, we will find you. We will take you into our care, make your every waking moment an unending hell. You will be begging for the release of death, but we will not give it to you. We will only bring you more suffering. Think about that before you attempt to contact anyone in our order again. I hope you heed our words and stay out of our business. You'll be regretting it until the day you die. And the video ends there. Holy shit, man. The Order killed Jesse. That is confirmed now. The 4th Enclave of the Order killed Jesse. We have just been given a pretty good amount of information. The 4th Enclave is not allowed to kill Chris and Alex, but they can take them into their possession. They can kill their family. They can make their life hell, but they can't kill them, right? The 5th Enclave, most likely the same kind of thing. The 3rd, 2nd, and 1st also. The 6th Enclave, though, they kind of run on their own rules, right? Maybe run away from the words of the Oracle a little bit and kind of do their own thing. 6th Enclave are the people that have tried to kill Chris and Alex. This is confirmed now at this point, right? Seemingly. Holy fuck, man. We have our information now. And that is the end of Season 2 of Dark Harvest. We will continue on next time in Season 3. Season 3 has 21 videos on the channel, so it'll be technically 22. We will continue on. Well, no. Alright. Season 3 has 21 videos, but there is a newer video on the channel that came out a month ago at this point. We will also be going over that when we get to it. But that newest video on the channel has started a Season 4 of Dark Harvest. So, you know, you'll see how all that goes and what happens there. But yeah. In the next video, we will continue on with Dark Harvest in Season 3. But for now, this is where we end off. Holy shit. Thank you for watching. Bro Fist.